Greetings, everyone. I have something kind of fun here. So I went to that Yo-Yo-So place and got another inexpensive pen. And this one is a fountain pen. Again, I should probably say something else too. This isn't sponsored in any way. It's just I like fun things. So this is, as I said, a fountain pen. It comes with these little cartridges of ink. I thought, why not try it out? I do have a lot of fountain pens though. Ooh. So I thought, why not have one? Well, this was like $1.99 too. I should also say that. Let's see what it can do. Just plug and play. Come on now. Oh yeah. Twist this back on. I like to put the caps back on. Sometimes this is referred to as posting. Okay. Looks to be a reasonably fine point. I don't see the... Oh, look at that. There's even little reservoir view windows. Anyway, let's see what happens here. Might take a moment or two for the ink to flow through. Come on now. What I'm going to do is, just beside me, I'm just going to swing it towards the ground. I can see it kind of moving through the reservoir. Come on. Let's see if we can zoom in on that a little bit too. Oh, a little bit. Not going super fast. I'm going to shake it beside me one more time. There we go. Well, interesting. Is this going to be an awesome thing? While I'm looking at it, I suppose, too, it says fast food. Down here it says try it underneath the clip, and some fries with hamburger and tomato. Well, that's really, really awesome. Same thing, I guess, on this packaging. A deal? I'm just going to do some doodling with this. And then maybe I'll get kind of used to it. I don't know. Some of my favorite pens are the sorts of pens that you can lose. So when you get used to, drawing with things that, well, I mean, you can get a stick dipped in dirt and probably do some neat things, or finger paint. But how you can detail things is sort of how I determine whether or not it's of specific value to me. the back end is tilted a little bit more. That way, when they come in for a landing, the tail end of the plane doesn't drag. It's been a while since I've used a pen like that. As I said, this isn't really going to be a review. I'm not going to ramble on about whether or not I think this is that or whatever. I'm just going to figure out if it's that or whatever. And fill up the page with nonsense. I don't know how often I need to figure out stuff like this, because I don't know if this is something I would carry with me. So far, my favorite thing from the Yo-Yo-So place is the bunny pen, which weirdly enough I think I don't know, it just feels a little more natural. But maybe the tip of this just kind of needs to be drug around a little bit more. I'm going to back this out a little bit because the nonsense that I'm drawing just seems strange. Weird. Yeah, I don't know. So far, I could say that I would need to find a specific use for it. Would I hold on to it just for that blue? I don't know. I think for the price of it's reasonable, but it's not fine enough for me. Whatever this, the tip anyway, it doesn't feel like really smooth. I think I could get used to it. Let's see if I can do something with this. Maybe darken in the eyes a little bit. Take some part of it a little bit more serious. sort of smooth out the roughness of it. You know, I could probably change a few more things with it. The drawing. Make it so that the person might need a haircut. Well, let's go wilder with the hair. Let's go wilder with the hair. Let's go wilder with the hair. Yeah, that is pretty wild. Once in a while you stumble into concepts in your brain. And you ask yourself, how far do you need to go with something? Is it necessary? Well, you know what? Sometimes it is necessary. You can find extremes, I suppose. But if you don't give it a try, you won't know. We'll even have some askew hairs there. Now, do we have enough room in the mouth here? We'll have the person, let's say, would you hold a brush? Why not? But how would we hold the brush? Tilted that way, tilted this way. Well, I already started to draw something a little bit silly that way in my brain. Combing your hair, I guess, is kind of important. But is it for you or other people? So I guess it's kind of like cutting your lawn. I don't know if people are doing it so much for themselves. I mean, I think the smell of fresh cut grass is awesome for some people. And I think for me, I like seeing the tracks that the mower makes on a lawn. But the concept of cutting grass is outrageous to me. I'd rather a rock garden so that's kind of a troll doll looking thing that I just did. Say we write it over here. Is there anything else that we can do with this? Or could this be a problem with static electricity? Interesting. Sometimes you just have to kind of draw for the sake of drawing. Maybe over here, let's draw scissors. These are going to be different kinds of scissors, though. I just had an interesting thought. So that's one type of scissors. That's another type. But different types of shears. I don't know. Because it is very different than the one that I typically use in my sketchbook here, which is this one. And this is like an ultra fine point, extra fine. So the detail that you can get with something like this is fantastic, and just depending on how you want to tilt things. So like, let me give you the, well, let's try something out here. I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to try writing. Actually, let's see if that'll focus a little bit better. Now, sort of legible, but not perfectly so. Sometimes, you know, the way that I like to try to get an idea of what I like out of a pen. I don't know if any of you can read that, but it's kind of messy looking. Yeah, I don't know. This may not be for the finest of details. It's almost like a 0.5, whereas this one, I don't know if I can go any closer. And not have it get too blurry. How's that? I might have to dip the pen. That is barely legible. I guess you could write letters to mice or a ladybug. Like, you know, let's say you go like, dear ladybug. I hope you're well. Everyone misses you. Fell the other day and I thought of you. I didn't actually fall, I'm just writing nonsense here. I really need to take a nap. Until next time. So that's funny. I started off with the other pen, but I don't think it does the detail that I kind of would like it to do. I'm going to move over just a little bit and try a response from Ladybug. Oh yeah, no, it doesn't do it. Dear grasshopper. I've been wondering about your family. Are you going to the concert? The June bugs. So I'm automatically kind of moving to a larger kind of font size because I don't think this does super fine detail. It's not really meant for that. The June bugs are dancing on the window. Down here we'll say all the best. Well, that could be an idea for another video. I mean, this is kind of a just testing stuff kind of a thing. I think that is probably the limit of what the camera can do. And you can kind of make that out. Same with that. You really have to kind of focus on it, but I'm going to spin this whole thing around. We're going to look at that little face that I drew with this pen. And I'm going to bring out, no, actually, I'm going to go back in here. And we're going to do just a little bit more detail. I'm going to put in some eyelashes. Sorry if this seems kind of spooky. I'm not really perfectly paying attention to the camera screen. I'm trying to focus a little bit on what's going on down here on the page. But that is the difference, I suppose, of what I expect from what a pen is capable of. And you might see that I just automatically flipped the nib around, and that's, I don't know, it's almost like an instinct to do that. Sometimes by dragging the pen, you can get a different control of ink flow. So yeah, no, that was weird. I just did that kind of like instinctively to get a sharper detail out of that. Let's go back to the face. And I'm just adding in more outrageous detail. The eyes I have rather wide. A little bit more to the collar here. So thanks for hanging out for a little bit. I know this is silly. But I'll probably keep this pen around just because. Go back to the handle of this for a moment. Because I could make use of it, I think. I mean, I have plenty of blue ink in other places. I just have a weird preference to using fountain pens for very specific things at times. So this might be my go-to blue. For my sketchbook stuff. Let's that's pretty wild. Let's hop back out for a moment. Well, that's what we did in a little less than 35 minutes. We did write really small, and I think just from kind of playing around with this, it's actually pretty decent. Like, I mean, it does sort of a wider line if you wanted to, and you can do some finer detail with it as well. So I'm not truly disappointed with it. For $1.99 for a cartridge-driven fountain pen, I'm not really disappointed with it. But I suppose the secret with a lot of that kind of stuff is just you have to get used to the tool itself, right? And maybe an idea for a future video could be, you know, doing like very tiny drawings. That could be fun. So like in the past, you could probably look up like a tiny art challenge. I think I set up a video and maybe a what do they call that now? A playlist specific for that. So maybe that's something that we can kind of play around with for fun in the future. So anyway, yeah, as I said, thanks for hanging out, and you may see more of this yo-yo-so foodie fast food try it fountain pen in the future with a clear reservoir. And yeah, no, I don't know, I'm not super disappointed with it anyway. So thanks for hanging out, and hopefully we'll see you at some point in the near future.